Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Afro Trader. Uh, Here I'm about to do a very quick video for people who want to scalp and then who don't have time to do too much analysis. Okay, so this strategy that I'm going to teach is about 80% accurate, right? Okay, so I'm going to do this in 2 sessions, right? So first of all, I'm going to teach the strategy, and then in the next video, I'm going to teach how to reduce the risks. Okay. All right. So for this strategy, we are going to use moving average. Some of you have a certain perception about moving averages. So once you hear the word moving average, you shy away, and then you move away from watching the video. Okay, but I believe that this video is going to change, is going to be a form of game changer for you. If you've been trading smart money for a long time and you're finding certain things difficult, you can use this. All right, so we are going to use the 12 and a 48 moving average, and then we are going to use the 1 hour and a 5 minutes time frame. Okay, so the originator of this strategy, I don't know his name, but he was using just 1 hour. I used to trade it, but I realized that it has a high risk. That is, the stop loss is very wide. Okay, so now I added a 5 minute, try to adjust it, and then got a way of trading it on a smaller time frame to have a very good risk reward ratio. Okay, one of the most dangerous way of trading is trying to catch the price at a peak, okay, of an uptrend or at the bottom of a downtrend. So you want to catch the peak. For instance, let's say you have an uptrend, okay, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. You want to catch this particular point. And usually what we see is that when you take this, price begin to move up, move up, move up, move up, and then your stop loss gets hit. Okay, so it's very difficult to trade this kind of trade, but our volume and divergence video also can help you to pick this kind of trade. But this strategy will help you to avoid trying to trade this stop. Okay, so you have to wait for a peak formation to form before you trade this one. All right, so this strategy works best after a peak formation or after a bottom formation. So in a downtrend, you want to see a bottom formation. You want to see that a bottom has formed. For an uptrend, okay, we want to see that a peak has formed before we take the trade using this strategy. Okay, so now the question is always that how do I identify that a peak has been formed, and how do I identify that a bottom has also been formed? So we want to know how bottom formation are done, and then how peak formation are also occur, right? So you said peaks and bottoms are formed when the moving averages cross each other. Okay, so the moving average cross each other. So once the moving average cross each other, you know we have a peak formation somewhere here. Okay, so for a downtrend, we have a bottom formation after the moving average cross. So peak formation, we'll be using the moving average to identify a peak formation, okay, or a bottom formation. Okay, so for a peak, we want to see the higher moving average, that's the 48 moving average, above the short-term moving average, the 12. So for a peak to form, we want to see that the 48 moving average is up, and then the 12 moving average is down. Now, for a bottom formation, we want to see the opposite. Okay. All right. So let's see some charts. Right. So here, in this example, we have a bottom formation. Okay. So you have a bottom formation. This is because you have a moving average that has crossed here. So this is a bottom. So this is when we see this is when we start trading this moving average, all right, using other smart money concept. You can add every smart money concept to it. But when the bottom is formed, so you can see that here, a bottom has been formed and there's a BMS, right? So moving average cross tells us that what there's a bottom formation. So this is a good bottom. right? And then if you can look at it well, if you know Wyckoff, you see that here we have what? A selling climax, right? Look at the volume, right? So this moving average tells you that a bottom has been formed and that we are about to move up, right? And in this second example, you can see a peak formation because we have moving average crossing around this level, right? Telling us that a peak has been formed. Okay, so this high is going to be difficult to be broken. That is the implication of a peak formation. You have a peak formation here again because moving average have crossed. So you can see that price came close to this. Because of this peak formation, it couldn't break it. This becomes a peak formation, right? Because moving average crossed, couldn't break it. This is another peak formation. So that is what we are going to do. So peak formation is defined by what? Moving average crossing. And so you can see that here, blue is 48. The 48 moving average on the bottom formation is below the 12 moving average. Okay. And here, the 12 moving average is below the 48 moving average. All right. Okay. So the rules are simple. First rule, we need to have a cross. The second, we need to have a touch. Third, we need to have a close, right? So it is cross, touch, and close. Cross, touch, and close. Okay. Cross, touch, and close. Hold on. And close, right? Okay. So cross, touch, and close. So cross, peak or bottom formation, right? Okay. So we are saying that there must be a peak or a bottom formation and moving averages or should cross each other. So that is the first criteria. Second criteria, we have a touch. Price must go back and touch the 48 moving average in case of a downtrend. In case you want to look for a sell, price should go back to the 48 moving average, which is the up one. Now, in case for a buy, we want to see what price go back to the moving average to touch it, right? Now, the third criteria is that it should close. Okay, so a candle must close below the 12 moving average after touching the 48 moving average. A candle should close below the 12 moving average. Okay, so that is for the sell setup, right? And then for the buy setup, a candle must close above the 48 moving average after touching the 12 moving average. Okay, so your entry is at the close of the candle. So when you close below the 12 or 48 moving average on number 3, you take your trade, and then your stop loss will be what? Above the level that touched. Okay, the candle that touched. So the candle that touched is your stop loss. The candle that closed is your entry. Okay, so usually with this trade, the stop loss is huge, right? However, there's a way of reducing it. So in the next video, we are going to talk about the way of reducing the stop loss. Okay, so this is an example. So you have a peak formation, right? High, and then we got a peak, and we have moving average crossing. So you can see that here, the moving average crossed above, giving us what? An uptrend. But when it touched this particular 48 moving average, it couldn't close above. So we didn't have a trade for a buy. And again, it crossed for a sell, giving us this peak, right? And then we went to touch the 48 moving average. So after touching the 48 moving average, what happened? We closed below it. So you can see this candle closed below the 12 moving average, touched. So we have cross, touch the 48 moving average, closed below the 12 moving average. So this becomes our entry. Okay. And then you realize that we have a 12 pip stop loss. Okay, a 12 pip stop loss. Okay, now here, the moving average had already crossed at this particular level. We had already crossed here. Okay, so we came back to touch the 48 moving average and close below. This is the close. Okay, so this is your entry. Normally, this is your entry and your stop loss will be here. Okay. Yes, this is just the 1 hour chart. Using the 1 hour chart, this is going to be your entry and this is going to be your stop loss. Now here, it crossed again. You can see we have a bottom here. We have a bottom formation. It crossed somewhere here. We had a cross here. Price came back to the moving average, touched the 48, but failed to close above the 12. It failed to close, so we didn't have a buy. Okay, and then we got a cross here. Back, touch the 48 moving average, close below it. So these are trade, these are entry, these are stop loss. Okay, and here we are having the same scenario. We went to the moving average, we touched it, and then we closed below it. So here you realize that, so when you go to a lower time frame, you understand that this 5 minutes is going to be a replica of what we did on the 1 hour. So for instance, this high that touched the 48 moving average is going to be a peak on the 5 minutes chart. It's going to be a peak on the 5 minutes chart, and that should lead to what? Moving average crossing on the 5 minutes. So you can use that to take your trade and you get a small stop loss. Okay, so let's go to the live chart and then see some examples. Let me see time. Okay. All right, so this is it. Okay, so okay, so start from here. Okay, here we had